Good morning, guys. Welcome to Speak and Recover. I wanted to talk about living in your head today. I read a book, which changed my life forever, and I read it quite frequently. Now, I haven't got the book at the minute because I borrowed it out to somebody, but I will be getting another copy, and I will be continuing to read it again. I'm going to tell you what the book is soon. But this talks about it's having that awareness, and I never knew that this thing that I was doing with the way I was thinking was causing me so much discomfort, because that's how I always been. And once I realized that that's how I thought every day, and I had the awareness around changing that, and then I actually changed it, I felt a liberation of freedom. And from that liberation of freedom, I started to recover. I started to heal. I started to feel that emotional stability. So the book that I first read, and I continue to read, and it changed my life, was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Absolutely mind-blowing book. And if it's a first read for you, it's quite heavy. It's a really deep read. And that's why I continue to read it. There was something in it that drew me into that. And I loved the book. It's changed my life forever. And I don't mean it like, I really mean it's changed my perspective on the way I think. And it's all about living in the present moment. Obviously, the title's The Power of Now, and it's all about living in the present moment. And I never knew that I even did this. I never knew that I did this until I had the awareness that I did it. So I'd wake up in the morning, and the first thing I'd do, my mind would fleet between the past and the future, always either thinking about a future event or what's going to go on later on today, and always sort of having this judgmental side of my life, which would sort of like constantly flick back to past experiences. And my mind will constantly flick between the two, past and future, and I never knew. And I would build this idea of self based on a past experience and an expectation of a future event. And I would bring the two together, and I'd create this idea of who I'm meant to be. And when nothing added up based on, because I don't know about you, but this is just me personally, I come from not a very colourful black background. I come from drug addiction, years of mental abuse, years of physical abuse to myself through drug addiction and substance misuse, and the lifestyle that I lived for many years. And I had carried a lot of guilt and shame around that. So every time my mind would flick back to a past experience, it's not like I could just go digging up some positivity. My mind was digging up negativity and bringing it forward. Then I'd have this massive over expectation of where I should be and how my life should look, based on the fact that I have not been doing what I should have been doing for so long, because of what I wasted my time doing in my past, and it didn't add up. Because I'd wasted so much time doing what I was doing in drug addiction and active addiction and physical and mental abuse to myself, and the lifestyle that I lived, it didn't match up with the expectation I've had of what my life should be like if I didn't do that. And then because I'd fall short with the expectations of what I should be like, or what I should look like, or how far I should be along in life, or who I should be, or how I should feel, I'd just end up mixed up with this past guilt and shame, and wrapped up with this future disappointment and anguish and frustration that I'd get from my future because I'm not where I should be. And I'd constantly build this image and this character of self that was always in some sort of a low level of discomfort and disease. And I hope, and I don't mean I'd walk around in physical pain, but I mean that it would sort of be like a distant cloud that was always hang over my head, and I'd just sort of grin and bear it and get on with it. I'd just sort of white knuckle it. And I don't mean like on the surface, I'm on about like subconsciously. This was like a very subliminal niggle that I would just sort of like brush under the carpet and go, oh, well, it's not that bad, it'll pass. And I just become used to living in that state. of having a little bit of my past and a little bit of my future, and with the expectation, put them together and put them like this. It wasn't a very good mix. It wasn't a very good mix. And because I'd live in this low level of discomfort, I never knew what like freedom was until I read the book, The Power of Now. And when I read the book, The Power of Now, it says that the mind can only reside in two areas, and that's in the past or the future. Now, when I'm living in the past or the future, I'm never really living in this present moment. And what the book taught me is that it doesn't, the past, obviously we've all heard it before, you know, the past is gone, yesterday's gone, tomorrow doesn't exist and all that stuff, but it's that quite easy said and done. But most of the time, my thinking and the unawareness of my thinking is based around a future event or the past experience. Now, learning to be in the now takes practice, and also you shouldn't have the expectation of you being able to do this straight away. It takes practice. Meditation has been the most valuable tool to me when it's come to doing this, and it's all I do is I sit at my window every morning and I take a deep breath and I bring myself back to now. And then my mind will go off on a little thingy, you know, it'll start thinking about some event, it'll start thinking about some past, it'll dig up something to sort of paint a picture in my mind, and I just go, stop, breathe, bring myself back to the present moment, and that's it. That's all meditation is for me. It's as simple as that, and I continuously do that. And when I do this consistently, I get better at it, and I exercise that muscle in my mind to bring myself back to the present moment. So when I carry this out into my daily living, when I'm thinking about something and my mind starts going, oh my God, I can't believe I might get it wrong. This needs to be this sort of, I have to have an expectation of it to look like this, or it needs to be like that. And then I start thinking about my past. Oh my God, what's she going to think of me and what they're going to think of me, blah, blah, blah. I can then go and bring myself back to the present moment. And it's called living in the power of now, because life is just one big long now. It is just one big long now. It's just continuous now. And when I look at my future, by the time I get there, it will only ever be now. There is no past breath now. There is no future breath in now. There's only this one. That's the only breath that exists. And by the time I've finished it, it's not now anymore. And now is now. I hope you sort of get that, what I'm saying. And it's learning to practice to live in that now. Now, if you suffer or you have you're manifesting yourself, your own discomfort through the perception of the self in which you think you are, based on the expectation of what a future event may hold, and upon the foundations from a past experience, then you are accepting the fact that you are unchanging, and really you are forever changing. You're a different person in every given now moment. Every moment of the given now is an opportunity to start changing. Creating awareness and having a broader perspective on your self-perception is where the growth really is. Now, if I decide to continuously do the same thing that I do all the time, then I'm having some sort of self-acceptance that that's who I am going to be forever. Now, I knew that my past wasn't very colourful. You know what I mean? It was bleak. It was grim. I carried a lot of guilt, shame and remorse. I carried a lot of negative feelings around that. And I've had the opportunity, which I feel really grateful for, to clear up the wreckage of my past through going through a 12-step program and writing something what people call a step 4, and also step 6, and also going through the process of doing a step 8 and a step 9. And these are like looking at all the wrongs that I did in my past, looking at all the people that I thought caused them wrongs, looking at my part in them, and then going to apologise. And I'm not saying that this is what you have to go and do right now, but just acknowledging that this stuff is in my past, acknowledging where I've done the wrongs, acknowledging what I did, and then going And apologising for them things has been a massive relief for me, because then when my mind starts to go digging in the past, there's no feelings there anymore, because it's all been addressed. And this takes courage. It takes courage. It really does, to go through it. And you know, when I first did my first round of steps, and I went through the thing, and I went back to my past and I apologised, I realised that I was becoming a man. I realised that for the first time in my life, I was a fully grown man. And I'm getting emotional with that stuff, because I just feel really grateful for that opportunity today to be able to do that. And I'm literally going through this process again. But coming back to the present moment, this is the problems that I suffered with. This is the discomfort that I manifested continuously in my life, because my past wasn't pretty, and I needed to clear the wreckage of that, so that when my mind went digging, as I said, there was nothing there anymore. It was rooting in an empty bin bag. It's rooting in a bin that's been cleaned out. And then comes the point of like looking at my future, not having this expectation of who I should be and what I should look like and how my life should feel. That's a massive thing for me. When I sit there and go, oh, after doing this, this and this, now I do this, this and this, and how I'm doing this now, and how I've got this new job, and how I'm not taking drugs anymore, and how I'm not out doing that anymore, and I'm not living that life. My life should feel like this. And that's like, it's like a massive expectation. So we've done the past bit, you know, we got rid of the guilt and the shame and the remorse, and I did that through doing a 12-step program. Now you can do this in many other ways. You know, you can do it through therapy. You can do it through just going back, writing a list of all the people that you've hurt or harmed, or some of the things that you've done in your past, and going and apologise for it and cleaning up that wreckage. Going into my future, I want to be looking at my future and having a realistic expectation of myself, or having a realistic viewpoint of what I should be like. Now, it's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to be productive. It's okay to be creative. It's okay to have this vision. It's okay to create this. This is what I want to do with my life, and this is what. But not having the expectation of that's how it should be right now. You know, going, oh, this is what I do now, and this is how I live my life, and this is how I should feel right now. Because when I look at myself and I go, oh, well, this is how my life should look, and if I just didn't do all that in my past, then my life would be like this today. And having that bad smacked ass attitude of what my future should look like. Now, people also say, you know, and probably heard it before, that the best way to predict your future is to create it, and it's okay to be creative. But I just come to the reality of having this realistic approach to not what my future holds for me, but what I'm capable of doing right now. And that's the thing. When I live in this moment and I create in this moment, because I can't create a future tomorrow. I can't create a future based on the experience of a past event, because the experience of a past event will always bring negativity into the present moment and stop me from actually being creative, with the fear of going, I'm going to get this wrong. This is not what I should be. This is what I deserve. My perception of my sense of self is hindered because I'm carrying negative emotions from a past experience. And from that past experience of negative emotion, I'm trying to project a positive outcome of my future, and it doesn't work like that. Now I need to get rid of the past, and I need to stop thinking about the future and start living right here, right now, and going, what am I capable of changing today? What can I do right now in this present moment? And when I start living like that, and I start thinking like that, through praying and meditating and being grateful and thankful for what I have right now, and going, do you know what? I am capable of doing this today. I am capable of starting that today. And I don't have the expectation of that it should be like this and it shouldn't be like that, and how I should feel when I'm just starting something. And it's like just as simple as being able to just be creative and start something new, you know, and living here and now. Because when I'm constantly in the past and I'm constantly living in my head, I'm constantly thinking about future, which is not real, and I'm constantly thinking about past, which is gone, then I'm never really appreciating what's right in front of me. What is right in front of me? Right in front of me is all the opportunity that I've ever desired and wanted in my life. Right in front of me is exactly the essence of now. It is the beautiful experience of living present in this moment. Now, we've all had these glinting experiences of the present moment when it comes to, like, when you sat on the beach and you're watching the sunset and you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely beautiful. Now that's living in the present moment. You sat watching the sun, you're going, this is the present moment. Now, there's many a little experiences like this that to be had. And once you start practicing this presence, you'll start to realize that the trees are greener, the sky's bluer, the wind on your face, and small little gifts of the very, very, very small subliminal simplicity of life will start to light you up from the inside out. Believe me, that book has changed my life, and I would highly recommend that you read it. I hope you identify. I hope you can get something from this video. I hope we can create some awareness for you on your journey. This is my journey. Thanks for joining me. This is Speak and Recover, and you're welcome. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Thanks for all your support, and stay blessed, and try and live in the now, because that's where the magic is, guys. Thank you, and have a beautiful day.